reminder at the turn of the hour, in around 7 or so minutes, do get Italian industrial output figures. Month on month for July expected minus 0.3%, previously it was 1.1%. Year over year expected 0.8%, previously it was 5.3%.
Hi, morning guys. It's Sean. Hang on a second.
7 or so minutes do get Italian industrial output figures.
It's Sean Knowles from Target Alpha. Just recapping a quick trade I have in the euro. It's Monday, the 11th of September.
Minus 0.3%, previously it was 1.1%. Year over year expected 0.8%, previously it was 5.3%.
So yeah, it's Monday, September the 11th, 2017. I'm just recapping. It's early morning. It's 8:53 London time. I'm in on a euro trade. I took it at the big handle, 1 spot 2000 here, 1.2 euro dollar futures. Yeah, as you can see, my execution, it was a 3 contract trade scaling in. My initial thoughts on entry execution, executed a little bit early on my first contract entry on the scaling. Actually could have got much better entries just below S1 on that test of 1.2. I took profit fairly quickly, just so I could de-risk as fast as possible and get a free trade, I guess. I've left 1 contract on for a test of pivot and a break of the overnight high. So overnight high being 1 spot 20240, and my target at pivot. If you look on the ladders here, you can see I've de-risked my trade. Got my final stop just on break even. Well, just a bit higher, just because I already banked 13 ticks on the trade. So if it does come back on my price and trades the range, then I will still get something out of it. Not much though, and my commissions will be paid for. If we get the fill at pivot, for me that will be a good trade and nice execution. So I'm in for the long haul and the hold now on this euro trade, as I'm well in profit and I've de-risked. So that's the initial thoughts on this trade. I'm going to pause it, as I believe it's going to take at least an hour or so before we hit pivot. But everything's on our side. The delta is clearly showing momentum towards the upside. We've had a 48 tick upswing with 6,588 contracts traded thus far, and on that early test of S1 and the big figure, the big handle here. Yeah, it didn't look like there was much momentum to the downside, and I think this dollar strength is still the dollar weakness will prevail today, just because of the economics, general sentiment on the dollar, and also the US being sort of risky. It's a slightly more risky, I guess, in terms of economic data, and also the fact that we've had those 2 hurricanes, Harvey and Irma, that could impact data moving forward. Okay. Yep, so staying on the side of the trend on the euro. Okay, we'll pause now and recap once I exit the trade. Okay, yeah, just we've got 1 minute until Italian industrial
10 seconds.
Output data comes out, so this could affect the euro. Not by much, but worth a watch. If it does swing towards the downside,
0.1%
buying opportunity or a signal for me to exit and look for a buy in the euro a little bit lower down if we can crack S1.
Obviously.
Let's watch the price action as the data comes out and see what we can do with the trade.
Ten seconds. Swiss sight deposits. They come in at 579 billion for the week ending September the 8th. Previously it was 579.2. Swiss sight deposits. They come in at 579 billion for the week ending September the 8th. Previously it was 579.2.
That was a beat of expectations. So expected was 3.8%. As you can see, um, as I expected, no real movement of the euro, but definitely helps in maintaining my long bias for today. But Monday being a quieter day, I don't expect too much movement, but a test of pivot would be nice. Hopefully price doesn't fall back on entry. Okay, just going to pause again, and we'll start the recording if anything else happens. Yeah, it's something to note on this trade. Obviously, part of my trade management, I'm looking at the correlated markets. Something that worried me in the beginning was the DAX, the German DAX 30 and the Euro stocks showing a strong bid off the open. Sometimes that can move inversely to currency, so it could have pushed the euro down. I was watching US stocks sort of following the US stock indices following the European indices. But I was watching pound, sterling, and they're sort of moving towards the top of its range, as well as CAD. Yen not properly selling off yet, neither is gold, so the bid's still staying in euro. Just sort of keeping it on side for me and sort of not changing my long bias. So yeah, just looking at those correlated markets for more, a correlation, I guess, or um, just more reasons to stick in the trade rather than come out early and book the profit. But yeah, another trade I'm very interested in is CAD, just because of the surprise interest rate hike to 1% last week, and then the strong employment data that came out on Friday. So looking for a break above pivot and maybe the classic long. Or maybe an aggressive break, but there's just no volume in the market. Obviously, Canada's asleep as well as well, North America is asleep at the moment. So if Europe can push it through pivot, I'll take the long at pivot on a classic, hopefully, and then look to hold that trade in through the North American session. So this is CAD here, just pushing up on pivot. Okay, just going to stick the recording on again. So about 15-20 minutes has passed. Looks like we're finally making attempts at the overnight high here at one spot 20295. If we can clear this, we should get a run up to pivot, and that will be my trade. So obviously, I haven't put my my take profit directly on pivot. Just would like to get the fill before they take profit on this leg up. So I'm hoping for a fill at least 4 ticks below pivot. And also that gap lower. Like, I think we're going to fill that gap. We may not reach pivot actually, but we'll see. Look at that 350. See how we react around 350 here. Two 20350. here is the gap. Okay. So looking for a shift in the delta. We were negative, so more sell orders and buy orders. But looks like we're having a decent attempt at taking out that overnight high now. So I'll leave this run, watch the price action. I've also bumped my my stop limit order to well into profit. So this will be, in terms of order of the contracts, this will be the first scaled contract. So the contract at the worst price. So if this does come back on price, we're looking at maybe a 6-7 tick winner. But I'm hoping, obviously, it doesn't, and we can get a clear breach of the overnight high, which looks like we're going to get now. There's definitely some buyers in the market at the moment trying to push this up. 11,000 and 200 contracts have traded on this last 61 tick upswing, as opposed to 4,000 and 1,900 on the last two tests of the lows. So huge difference in the delta there. More contracts trading on the buy side. What else can I say? Yeah, and also on this 5-minute candle, 229 contracts have hit into the offer. So our market buy orders, which again shows a divergence and a clear indication of buyers in the markets as opposed to sellers. So as we take out this overnight high, we should see a small stop run, and then hopefully a continuation of the move higher. Now it's this gap that I'm worried about. Yeah, it's this gap here. Obviously, I hope we fill it, but it's the continuation past the gap, which most interests me. So watching this price action here, looking at the delta 900 tick chart here, and looking at the execution chart here, open P&Ls 39, well in the clear. We're in a free trade. I'm going to hold this no matter what. If it comes back on price, so be it. But we've got to hold those winners. I'm just looking for that break. If we can break this overnight high, I'll say that gap low on the open last night on Sunday evening, we're in business. Should get a nice clean trade. And this is the sole purpose of practicing to hold on to those winners, so we can get that 2, 3, 4 times risk reward. want to see this break. Struggling, but we've traded another 1,000 contracts. Over 1,000 contracts since I started speaking. There we go. There was the pop. Now hopefully we can sustain this pop, drive it all the way through to pivot. And I think everybody who got short just before the overnight high, people that were shorting won't be looking to short again, because obviously they've been stopped out now. So I'm trailing my stop. I think that's a fair thing to do in this situation. I'm looking for this level to hold. This could be an area to re-enter, but I won't, just because it's a low volume day and anything could happen. This could switch and test the lows again fairly quickly. So I think just holding that contract on for my original plan, sort of trading my stop up behind it, just to make sure that if it does turn and there's profit taking on this momentum towards the upside, then I can take something out the trade. But all you need is one good trade every day, and that's now what I'm aiming for. That CAD play is coming into play now. Looking towards CAD. So we're just testing the high now, the overnight high. I'm looking for that classic long. Have a look at the CAD. There we go. So we're just making a new high. Gonna take one contract. Gonna take two contracts. Mid-range, one at R1. With the dollar weakness, I think CAD has a lot of room for the upside. Let's have a look at Canadian dollar. All right, mate. Okay, just a quick recap. I'm going to try and come out of the euro trade as we filled that gap more or less, and it looks like a good solid resistance point, this gap, so we may find it ranging now. I just don't feel up. So I'm out the euro trade. I feel that was a good trade. Could have held on for longer, but I think that was the right decision given it's Monday, and we may now take profit and just play the range. The Canadian dollar, based on last week's data, has a higher probability of maintaining a bid today, with a slow grind and the dollar falling off. So again, gonna look to de-risk quite quickly and hold the trade to R1 from pivot. And if this trade works out as expected, it would have been a fantastic day trading. Would have got 2 good trades in today. And for me, that would be a great start to the week. I think I might wrap up today's trading if I get good feels on these. So, okay, we'll pause again now and start recording when something happens. So I'm just going to follow this price action. Looking at the CAD, I'm in the pain phase at the moment. There's a couple of ticks against me. Just debating to sort of average in another contract and see if I can sort of average this price in a little bit better. But apprehensive to do so as I've had a good start to the day and I don't want to take on too much risk in case this does fall back. We're 9:44 British Standard Time, so coming into a sort of a quieter point in the day where things may stay range bound and this CAD could fall back in for the US session. At the moment, I'm going to keep my stop where it is, but I may take it off if I see some price action sort of falling back in, and I'll just sort of limit that loss and look to re-enter later in the US session. But as it stands, I feel like I'm in a good place right now on the CAD. In quite early before the US session, people, the rest of the market might bid this up before the North American session to R1 or to 0 spot 82600 on CAD, which is here. Obviously, my first target is just a couple of ticks below. Make sure I get the fill and I can de-risk this trade. And get a free trade out of it and use pivot to protect the level. We do need CAD to, well, I'm hoping CAD will start touching the high again and pushing through that. The longer we stay here without much movement, the less probability it is that it will do the trade. But I've got the fundamentals on my side, so I'll stick with it for now. Just watch this price action. And also keeping an eye on the correlated markets with pound on its high, euro trading back on its high, or trying to push back up there. It's looking good at the moment. And just because it's Monday and a lower volume type of day, these trades can take some time to play out. Look at it falling back. Watching this CAD now, trading 2 ticks below pivot. Yeah, just out of all the currency pairs, CAD is definitely the play today. That's my feeling. I was just trying to find a good entry. I've tried this pivot break, but it's not holding a bid above pivot. So this could be regarded on low volume, but it is for sure making me nervous. Oh, the markets are quiet. But trading's been good today. I've enjoyed it. I'll just see if this CAD move plays out as we expect. Hopefully. Hopefully it plays out like we expect.
3-month Euribor comes in unchanged at minus 0.331%. Again, that's 3-month Euribor unchanged.
Okay, I'm going to pause. If we start trading the high again, I'll start recording. Okay, finally seeing some upside momentum in CAD. Finally seeing some movement now. Hopefully we can take out that high. Euro started trading a little higher. So is yen. It's come up above S1 now. Now watch the price action here at the high. Also gold showing a bit of a bid, moving up towards its high as well. The slow grind of today, Monday grind. It's taking a long time to play out. I sat in some pain there for a bit. Not much, but enough just to keep me on my toes, looking for an early exit. I think we did print a new high, one tick by one tick though. If you look at the wick on this candlestick, let's jump in and see what's happening. Showing some positivity on the delta here, the bid-ask volume, but very light in volume at the moment. Let's check those pivots. Yeah, R1's the logical take profit, as well as 0.82600. That will be my target one. Nice to see CAD on side though, finally. Looking for a nice little extension and a pop higher. Get that T1 here, target one, and then the long hold. Looking to hold into the North American Open and see where we go from there. Okay, gonna pause. Okay, back again. CAD retesting the high. See if we can get through it now, finally. As I said before, fundamentally, from last week, everything's on our side. Yep, there we go. Come on, print. Take out that high. And we've got every reason to take out the high now. There we go. Good job. Good job, CAD. Okay, gonna pause again. Okay, watching CAD again. Falling back in on pivot. Very slow going today, very, very slow. It's pressing me to come out. I feel like I should. Look for a trade later on, but then again I might miss this entry then. It come in, it come off it, let it fall back in, look for better pricing. In the US session. Everyone who's bid it up now may decide to take profit and wait for a better entry. That's what I'm feeling.
ECB is now reaching 2.2% growth for the year. However, the inflation remains under the ECB's objective. That's why it's too early to change the ECB's monetary policy and at low interest rates already. So it's quite a loose translation here. It's not a direct quote, but I've kind of got the gist of it there. So it does acknowledge high growth, but it does raise inflation as a concern. And as such, that's why it's too early to change the ECB's monetary policy. But again, do bear in mind these are translated reports.
Okay, gonna pause again, nothing going on.
saying the ECB is now reaching 2.2% growth for the year. However, the inflation remains under the ECB's objective. That's why it's too early to change the ECB's monetary policy and at low interest rates already. So it's quite a loose translation here. It's not a direct quote, but I've kind of got the gist of it there. So it does acknowledge high growth, but it does raise inflation as a concern. And as such, that's why it's too early to change the ECB's monetary policy. But again, do bear in mind these are translated reports.
Okay, still hanging on to that CAD. Just widen my stop slightly. Giving it a tiny bit more room to breathe, but the delta is definitely showing ticks to the downside. So Euro's just come off its highs, pounds off its highs, yen's back below S1, gold's also sort of coming off its highs. So maybe press to get out of this trade now. Just take my loss on it. Gonna pause again. Okay, looking at another contract, bottom of this range here. See if we can average in a better price. Adding this extra contract will only leaves me another $10, if that. So not so much more risk taken in terms of not a lot more risk taken. I've missed the fill. I'm looking to average in and just sort of enter, bring this average price a little bit lower to pivot. I missed the fill though, so that's probably the best price I could probably get at the moment. I'm not going to pay up any higher, not with it trading below pivot. It's going to start getting expensive then if this trade goes south. So you've got the small step in the profile, you've got 223 contracts and then 87. And this 70-75 area here being an area of support. My hope is that before the North American session is we start bidding up CAD, sort of pre-positioning in on the Monday data, but it's could be difficult with less damage from Hurricane Irma, and we may see the dollar rally with equities today, which obviously push all the majors lower. And the dollar got hit very hard last week, based on the geopolitical risks of North Korea and also Hurricane Harvey and Irma. So with those risks subsiding and sort of the damage quantifiable now to some degree, you may see a return to risk on in the States and the North America session. If equities rally hard, the dollar can often follow. And then we'll see a sell-off in the majors, including CAD. So I'll be looking for buying opportunities a bit lower in CAD if this trade doesn't work out. Okay, going to pause again. Okay, I'm going to try that trade. Try and get here on the step on the profile, try and get a feel for a third contract, sort of get better pricing, move my my average down. Try and scalp this range here. So slightly higher risk strategy, sort of fit into my fundamentals. May get a fill now finally. That trade, Euro trade earlier, I think I got out for the right time. It has fallen back, sort of center of the range now, so I definitely took profit around about the right area, just on around that gap fill move that we played out earlier. So by the looks of things, we are defending this level, 0.82470. We got passive buyers here. So every time we head down to this area, market orders are going off, people are passively buying. And they take it, bid 1 or 2 ticks, let it fall back, buy, bid, comes back down, buying, just absorbing. And then hopefully you push a little bit higher, but I still haven't got that fill. I definitely don't want to pay any higher pricing, not now. Don't want to pay a higher price at the moment, not in this tight range. I'll take the low of the range and hopefully can scalp a few ticks off to bring this my entry a little bit lower in terms of averaged in. Okay, so we got the fill. And now looks like we're breaking lower. So maybe that passive buy has done his order. And let's see what happens. Yeah, awkward trading at the moment. I'm not liking it. It's CAD. Nobody's interested in taking it higher during this Monday session. If the trade was off the open, it's really not moving anywhere. Really not. Is this trade worth it now? So you've got to ask yourself. I'll watch these price actions here. If it comes back down with any sort of force, we'll see the delta.
So just a heads up, at the top of the hour, could see the potential release of the Portuguese CPI, year-on-year previously 0.9, month-to-month previously at minus 0.7.
Okay, gonna pause. Okay, good stuff. We got the fill on that contract. So that third contract idea did work.
So just a heads up, at the top of the hour, could see the potential release of the Portuguese CPI, year-on-year previously 0.9, month-to-month previously at minus 0.7.
CAD now 79 contracts traded on the buy side. So again, a little bit more upside momentum now. See if we can sustain it and start trending higher finally. But as you can see, the markets are so quiet. We're trading tick ranges at the moment. You know, 4 or 5 tick ranges. Okay, I'll start recording if we start trading the high. Okay, finally trading the high once again in CAD. So we've got 4 ticks locked in. We're on side for 6. A little bit more momentum again on the buy side, looking at the delta and the bid-ask split. Hopefully we don't fall back in again. I'm stuck sitting through lunch on this trade, which is not a problem, but it would be nice for it to start trading up now and move my stop to scratch and get our fill on target 1. Just looking at the other majors, not really moving much. But CAD is the currency to be in on the fundamentals for sure. Okay, so finally traded higher. Looks like we're building a trend for today. Let's hope we get that fill. Finally bidding up CAD now, finally. Yo! Say again? Oh, it's okay, yeah. Okay, took profit. Just gonna leave this CAD play out now. Looking for the test in R1. Bank 12 ticks on the day, so just gonna leave this run.
Bye.